Why is there still a controversy about sexual addiction among professionals?
It's not in the DSM-4, which is the diagnostic manual for disorders. So because it's not in there, a lot of people, therapists, analysts, don't believe it's an addiction. I think that more and more people are beginning to see it as an addiction, even people that didn't believe it was an addiction. I think with more and more media focus on these high-profile people that get themselves into trouble, we're beginning to see that, maybe this really is a problem that people have, and it's not a matter of morals. Maybe they really do have something going on that is causing them to behave in this way. The day Elliot Spitzer announced his resignation and that he had been caught with a prostitute in a hotel room was the busiest week of my career, 20 years. I had more phone calls within the first 48 hours of that announcement than I have ever had.
What scared them?
The fact that they could get caught, that if someone that high up could get caught and lose everything was pretty frightening.
Now, Tiger Woods himself said he's a sex addict. So we'll take him at his word. When you look at the pattern of behavior, how do you see the addiction there?
From what we've heard in the news about Tiger Woods is that more and more women kept coming out of the woodwork here. That he wasn't just having an affair, one extramarital affair with someone. He had many different women in many different locations simultaneously. Every one of them was a secret. I don't know how he managed to keep all of these women going and live his life, play golf, have his wife, his kids, and nobody else knew about this. But he did. That's pretty indicative of a sex addict. They can manage all of these things. I'm sure if Tiger Woods is like many other sex addicts, when he got married, he probably thought and hoped that these behaviors would stop. Because I hear that all the time. But unfortunately, they don't. For a true sex addict, they don't stop.
If we take Bill Clinton, how do you see the pattern of sexual addiction in his case?
It certainly sounds like what was going on there was addictive behavior because this happened multiple times. I'm not just talking about Monica Lewinsky, but he was tied to other women throughout his marriage. There was a lot of lying going on about it. But what struck me about Monica Lewinsky and some of the others was the escalation that as President of the United States, he was taking greater and greater risks, bringing this woman into his office, giving her gifts, that kind of thing. When you're taking such risks like that, that's got to be, there's something more to it than he's just got a girlfriend. This is typical of someone that has an addiction.
Jodi, maybe you can help us and explain the difference between somebody who just likes sex or might be in an extramarital affair and somebody who is a sex addict.
Somebody that's a sex addict is not really having one affair. They're having either multiple affairs, they're looking at pornography. It's not so much about connecting with another person as it is numbing their feelings. Somebody that's having an extramarital affair is having an emotional connection with that person. Someone that looks at pornography from time to time is not a sex addict. Someone that is having lots of affairs or involved in lots of relationships or acting out on a regular basis with prostitutes or going to massage parlors, they're not looking for a relationship with that person. That's more of an addiction. Somebody who's a sex addict that looks at pornography is spending a lot of time during the day or night looking at pornography. What they've looked at in the beginning may be very basic pornographic sites, but a sex addict gets bored with that after a while and they have to up the ante. They have to escalate. The addiction is about taking greater and greater risks. That's part of the high, that risk. People get addicted just to that high feeling. It begins to dominate their life because of what may be triggering them. Getting triggered may be just turning on the computer in the morning. Men that work from home, once the wife and the kids leave for school and they turn on their computer, they're home in their own little world. Monday mornings are usually, for most sex addicts that I work with, they all report Monday mornings as being, the most difficult day of the week for them. There's no such thing as being cured. You may look at it as being in remission, that they're in recovery, they're doing well. Someone that hasn't acted out in their addiction in a long time, we're talking years. They've been going to 12-step programs. They're living their life.
Could you outline this 12-step program that sounds so similar to Alcoholics Anonymous?
It's really important that sex addicts get involved in these 12-step programs because, first of all, they need to hear how other people have managed to stop their addiction. They need to hear what recovery is all about. They need that support because they're not getting it anywhere else. One of the major things for 12-step programs is admitting, first of all, that you're powerless, that whatever you're doing, be it drinking or acting out sexually, that it's become unmanageable and you've been unable to stop. Despite anything you've tried, it's got a hold on you. You no longer have a hold on your addiction.
Now, internet sites like Ashley Madison that make affairs possible between people who are attached, are they catalysts for sexual addiction?
I think that most people that are looking at these sites like Ashley Madison are probably, if they're hooking up with people on these sites, then my guess is they are either sex addicts or they are on their way to becoming a sex addict. Because they're not just dating sites. These are sites to meet, to have sex. Most of my clients are men. Little less than 25% are women. With sex addiction, what we find, women can be addicted to sex, but most of them have more of an emotional connection and need, so we see them being more love relationship addicted, that need to be constantly in some kind of relationship. To them, sex equals love. If we're having sex, that must mean we're in love. And so they become addicted to that sensation.